Welcome to episode 12 of Monday Night Live Chat, live on YouTube. It is tomorrow's the first day of summer.
Tomorrow's the first day of summer.
Tomorrow's the first day of summer. So that's huge. Now, do you usually find that actually like summer kind of dulls out sometimes, like right around now? Like after July 4th, usually kind of dulls down.
We had our dog days of summer for sure.
Yeah.
Like 100%. Like after July, everybody's rushing for the holiday for July 4th. And then it just like died out.
Because I was like feeling like yesterday, I was like, man, like you think the season starts like pretty much, I always feel like 1st of April. And we're already almost 3 months into it. We're like, then you look 3 months down the road and we're hitting fall. And it's just, halfway done with the year already. It's crazy.
You know what's kind of nice though is that like dead dog days of summer, you kind of have a second to just like chill and calm down and like get back to being par. Yeah.
Our rush, I felt like, was always all the way up to July 4th. You work your butt off. And after that, it's like, all right, like I can breathe for a little bit for a few weeks, and then things will start picking up again, and then get to the fall and just really take a break.
Yeah. That's exactly it. I'm always happy with it. Like winter, like that big last push, and all of a sudden, like the first freeze, it almost was like, whew.
Oh yeah,
it's like all right, like we made it, you know.
Yeah, it's like a breath of fresh air when you first see that. Well, you would see the first snow come in same way. When would your first snow come in Wisconsin?
Our first like sleet happens first would be around like we didn't go trick-or-treating a few times because it was sleeting. It didn't like stick really, but it kind of just like got slushy and gross.
Right. Yeah.
But our snow when it came in though, too, like November, if we got snow in December, that same snow was on the ground like in March or April. Like it just stays there, you know? Like it doesn't melt. Yeah.
The worst part about the snow that sticks around is trying to get on roofs during those months. Like
because you don't get on roofs in Wisconsin.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Luckily, we don't have to deal with like that humidity and then that really freezing on the roofs. At least like that's not a thing here. But I could see how that could suck.
Yeah.
Not be good.
But it would always had snow, so walking on snow is actually not that bad on the roofs, you know.
Hey, you know what I didn't check?
The only roofs that were.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say the only roofs that were really bad were the ones that didn't have good insulation because the heat from the house melted the snow. You could tell driving. You'd be like, "Oh, they gotta fix their insulation."
I was gonna check real quick to see how many likes we had on our last episode. 103. You're 97 short.
That's sad.
Man,
I thought you had clout, SteveO. Don't you have like 22,000 subscribers?
Oh man, if our last one was at 97, but it's at 90, the one before that, I think I would have done the Tradpole giveaway. I think I would have done it.
We could still do it. Thumbs up. Like the video, and 200 will pick a winner.
200.
Comment. That's how we're going to pick the winner, by the way.
That's all it's got to be. It's 200. That's it. So simple.
By the way, a couple shout outs just to go in because we haven't, and everybody's commenting. Comment the crap out of the video because it helps the algorithms. It helps SteveO become famous, and it just does really good. But what's up to Damien, who's first, by the way? Katie, the WC, what's going on? Glass Monkeys here. Where we got Josh Rodriguez, the window guys, Squeegee Pullers here. There's a ton of you. Peter Cruz is here. I saw Austin was in here too. McRae's is here. What's up? If you guys are here, say hello. Please say something. We end up having like hundreds of people watch this and not everybody comments. So comment the crap, like bombard, like spam this group so we have like 1,000 comments.
Share it. Do whatever you guys want.
By the way, it's my wife's birthday today. That's why I shaved. So everybody's telling me that I look like a little boy. Austin said I look like I own a Corvette.
Trust me, I was shocked when he came on. I said, you have the camera all low, slow reveal. I haven't shaved down to that in I don't even know how long. I never do.
I did before, like I just shaved it into things so that I could take pictures because my daughters were like, "We want to see you shave, like have a mustache." So I have pictures in my phone of me with just a mustache.
That's always fun. Come down from it with just a little
Yeah, yeah. Just that pinstripe one from like the
Can't
50s.
say the word on YouTube, but yes.
Yeah.
Cool. So we have like a topic on here that we're interested in. TikTok lost me a customer. Have you ever had TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, any sort of thing like that lose you a customer? I have not personally had it, but I think it's possible. I definitely think it's possible.
Totally think it's possible because people, they like you said, you used to film inside houses, and then there got to be a point where you're like, maybe it's, people look at that and they're like, yeah, I don't want this dude in my house. Like maybe it's cost you work and you don't know that it costs you work,
Well, I think too, though, like when I did do it, I was young. I was kind of dumb. I haven't done it in a long, long time. I would try to keep it like on the glass about the subject, But yeah, I would say that I just don't think anymore it's a good idea. And people really monitor their homes, as far as that goes. Like outside shots, perfectly fine, and you can get a lot of content from like being outside. But then I kind of wonder though about like just people posting stuff like, oh, did you get in trouble with like your insurance, right? Like people like stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've had jobs where I've been told, do not post anything about this because we don't, even though everything is in the rules of what we can do, we don't want it out there,
Yeah.
There's that stuff too. I once had where, I'll tell a story, where I did a drone video and Jim was getting on a roof and we had the standoffs. Like we always put the standoffs on the roof so you can real easy, like just get onto the roof.
Yeah.
And I posted that video and somebody pretty big in the industry got on there and they're like, I'm going to report you to OSHA. And I was like, why would you report to OSHA? He's like, because your ladder is not against the gutter and you're not 3 rings above the gutter. I said, to me, I was like, wait a second. Like when I looked at the person, I was like, this person has never gotten a roof. Second, like that way of doing it with the standoffs right there, I feel like is the safest way. You don't touch the gutter. You protect the gutter, like everything. And yeah, I mean, him and I got into this was many years ago, but it was the only thing that's ever happened to me where someone was like, I'm going to report you. And I kind of wonder how often it happens.
That's a piece of garbage, though. If you're like going out of your way to report somebody, like you could private message and be like, hey, man, like a lot of people watch your videos. Like maybe think about not doing it that way, but just to come on and be like, I'm reporting you. Or you're going to go tattle on me. Cut it out.
Yeah. If anything, though, I always found, though, if anybody has said anything about like social media, they kind of think it's cool. Like they're just kind of like in the world these days, like everybody's recording everything. It's not odd to see someone taking their camera out and recording something anymore. Like that's not an odd thing. Yes, it's used in some situations in social media as like as a weapon to like, defend yourself against something somebody's doing. But most of the time, like nobody cares,
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, I've done it the other way where, so our job as you and I is to build relationships, like be people so people can like interact and feel like they like know you, Yeah. And I've lost people who have been like, hey man, I watched SteveO's video, like I'm going to order through him. And I'm like, cool, like that. Like, so it works the opposite way too. And it has to work with window cleaning where people watch you and they're like, I want this dude cleaning my windows. He looks like just a genuinely cool dude.
Yeah. Right. And I think too, like someone mentioned that maybe TikTok is not, not our direct audience. I think you're 100%.
Who said that though, Steve-O?
Huh?
Who said that? Say his name.
Oh, I think it was Jay. Yeah. Jay Camaro. Yeah. Your target.
I didn't know if you were going to play around with that.
I kind of forgot who said it, but then I remembered. So anyways, but like, yes, your target client isn't on TikTok, but like this just came up on the news today. On average, the average person is watching 52 minutes a day of TikTok. TikTok is the #1 app.
If you don't think your customers are on there, you're ridiculously wrong. Not you, Jay. I'm not trying to talk just directly to you, but.
Well, and I think though he has a point in that it's not really our target audience. Like it is a younger audience on there. I don't really think a lot of middle-aged people are on TikTok. There's a lot of foul stuff on TikTok. Like you'd have to filter through a lot of stuff to say, oh, look at this window cleaner. Is he in my area? Let me reach out, like, but I think what TikTok gives you the ability to do though, is just to create some cool content that even a video on there that you created, you could post on your Facebook page. And it could literally be like, here's the 5 steps that I take to make sure that I clean your residential windows correctly. Like just little stupid, simple things that just like are content.
Let me ask you this. You and Jay, I want to ask Jay too. And anybody, if you're in here, tell me this because I want lots and lots and lots of comments. Blow this thing up. But if you were on, just yes or no question, do you advertise on Facebook? Like, do you put any type of advertising? Do you have a business page? Do you have any business recognition on Facebook? Because I guarantee that almost everybody in this, I would say everybody in this room right now will say yes. But then there's people who think that TikTok doesn't have the same pull as Facebook when it absolutely does. I think it absolutely does. But the downside is with Facebook, I could say, I just want XYZ city. I just want this and this and this. And you can like find people, people can tag, geotag and all that other stuff. Where on TikTok, you don't have that. It's in global. That's why like a lot of your videos, we were just talking about this, like your videos go crazy viral. And it's like, you have like 100 times more views than there's ever window cleaners in the entire country, So there's a lot of people who are just enjoying the content.
Right. And it's good to know I have never gotten a client in my town from TikTok. It's never happened. No one's ever reached out to me from there and said, oh man, come clean my windows. Yes, it's happened from my YouTube multiple times. Like we were talking before, that's happened a lot, especially in my area. But yeah, I haven't done anything off TikTok, but it's becoming mentioned more, like when people talk about, like, if you are trying to grow something and you're posting on all the different things, like post 3 times a day on Instagram, post 3 times a day, whatever. Yeah. That is becoming one of the other main ones, that it's just like the circle of like social media apps that you kind of just keep everything going in. And like, even just having a TikTok, having an Instagram, having a Facebook page of like, when you search for a business, it will come up. That's another thing too. Like it's just backlinking your website. Like why not? And they're so easy to take the 10-second video of your worker just squeegeeing a window and just put it up there. Like why not?
I always think too, like if you're doing content, if you're creating that B-roll, if you're just doing that, why not have some stuff out there in all the platforms? Because like you said, you could get one person from TikTok and that could be, a $10,000, lifetime customer. It could be, more than that. So Facebook, TikTok, Craigslist. I like posting on Craigslist, which I know people laugh at. I like all the stuff. I like to just be basically everywhere. Yeah, Jay just said Nextdoor. Nextdoor is another one that's great.
Nextdoor is great.
It's so targeted. You get to like literally talk to the people who are in there. It's like, I get my windows cleaned Facebook group. Like if you could find that, it'd be great,
Yeah. But yeah, no, Nextdoor is definitely one of the best ones too, because it's like, they recommend you after a certain amount, and you tell me if I'm wrong, but this is how I understand it. After a certain amount, then you kind of get approved for doing ads. Like they kind of have a cycle that you kind of go through with it. But it is, if you get inside of a neighborhood and people start recommending you in our area, I mean,
it is.
I remember it was mentioned all the time.
Yeah, Nextdoor is interactive reviews. That's exactly what it is, because I could review your company and be like, oh, Steve did a great job. Like this did this, he did this, he did great. 100 people could look at that review and be like, wow, this helps me make the decision. If I'm in an open conversation with somebody like, hey, neighbors, I just had this other person. Now all of a sudden it's not an anonymous review. It's a person who I have to know because they're in my neighborhood. They were next door to my house. If there's people in my neighborhood using it, then it's just interactive reviews. And there's not much more strong than, 3 women sitting having, coffee and donuts, and one of them brings this up, as a window cleaner. Like there's not much else there. So not saying TikTok's to that level, not at all, but I do think there's some value there.
Yep. And like someone, complete exterior cleaning services mentioned, someone can see a TikTok or Instagram post and trigger a, what my windows or gutters need to look like that. And you can pick up another 3 or 4 on that street. So that's a very good point in that, like, yes, you could totally just get one person, and everybody knows if you do good work in a neighborhood, that always turns into 3 or 4 jobs. And then that can just trickle and snowball for you.
You got to make an army of like salespeople. Like if everybody was like, oh, I want a sales guy. What if you had 1,000 salesmen? Like that's what you could have if you just get people to do reviews, if you get people to do the next doors, if you get people to just tell you they love you so much, they're going to tell everybody they know that has an ear to listen to about you. Now you just have salesmen just doing your bidding,
Right. But here's like one spotless paint. I got a storefront off TikTok. So like, there you go. You get one. It's freaking worth it because that one can turn into many.
And understand content is forever. Like if you have a TikTok and you're making videos now, 5 years from now, those TikToks will still be there ranking, still creating views and still being semi-relevant, you know? Not to be spammy, but to create content, I think is something. But here's the other thing. I'd like to ask you this, since you're a content guy and everybody in the group comment, but when does there become too much content? Like I know in my brain, you can't have too much content because if somebody doesn't want to watch this video, they're just going to scroll, right?
Yeah.
Like that's content. That's the nice thing about it is it's not aggressive content, isn't? But like at what point, like think about where the world is 10 years from now when we've had 20 years of content creating and it's just getting more and more and more. It's like, how is there too much? Like now we're relying too much on algorithms to like weed us through the garbage that's out there, you know?
Right. I personally have never agreed with like, I don't post 3 times a day. Like some people will. Like I just, that's to me, like I just don't want to do that. Like I'm going to post things about sales for WCR. I'm going to post things about things I like. I'm going to post a picture of a nice day if I'm out and it's just a sunny, good day. I really try to post off of if there's actually something that can help people, which I include in that of like sales that we have. I think some people, I've had people unsubscribe from my YouTube and message me like, hey, I don't like that you put WCR stuff up. I'm like, hey, that's fine. Like it is, you do whatever you want to do. It's just, I don't ask for anything else out of the channel. But I would just say that, I don't know. What do you think?
I like I said, my whole goal with everything, I'm a little bit different now because I'm out of the window cleaning game like right this second. But in the most part, what I would do is try to put your face or create a connection. Like I always tell people, like I'll use a company called XYZ Window Cleaning Supplies. I don't know, there's no XYZ, but you can choose to fill it in however you want. But somebody is going to choose XYZ Window Cleaning Company, or they're going to buy from Jersey, or they're going to buy from SteveO, right? So if you can turn yourself into a person, and the same thing in window cleaning, like if I'm getting my windows cleaned by Damien or Jay or anybody else that's in here, even just Jacob, right? I like that person and I trust that person and I'm hiring that person, right? So building that, the only way that you can really do that is to not have a stuffy face and, not just have, just this, right? There's just an image up there and that's all people can see. You can't connect with an image.
Right.
But you can connect with a video and you can hear just you talking about your day. You should do the videos where you were in your truck, like just doing the whatever. All that is like, oh, Steve's like a real guy. Like I really like just hearing about Steve. Like those videos do really well with a connection side of things. You can do that in window cleaning. You can just be, talking about, advertising or sponsoring little league teams or donations or something. And people are like, oh, this guy's like not just a business. He's a guy.
Right.
And it changes the whole dynamic. It's like if your best friend did HVAC, the only company you would ever hire for HVAC, no matter what, would be your best friend, right? Yeah. It's the same thing. As soon as somebody can make a personal connection from you, they will always buy from you. They won't necessarily, buy from just a faceless company.
Oh, yeah. No, totally. There was a question we had sent in, and this came from Jay. So one thing he asked us to kind of talk about today, which I think was good because of what's kind of coming up in the world and what we're seeing, is lead flow. Have you guys felt like the leads coming in have slowed, maybe due to price hiking and gas, food, possible recession coming? How are you guys feeling about that? What's happening to you? I personally, in my area, I have not seen anything like slow down. I haven't had anybody mentioned it. I'm definitely less reluctant to go like way far for a job ever. And if I do, I would just put, quite a good charge for that. But I haven't seen it affect here at all.
Tell us in the comments too. I want to get kind of like a sample from people, but Damien said absolutely not. But has anybody else seen a slow from leads? Because that's interesting, because we've been talking about that since like gas really started going up. It's like, are they going to slow, or is it because of summer? Like on our side, things are going crazy because everybody's busy. But then if everybody's busy because their spring was really late, like, is it a false summer, or are we still just on the up and up?
Right. Yeah. Like Glass So Bright mentioned, I had 86 franchises before the last recession, and now they are all gone. we had a big restaurant that we did locally before COVID hit. I mean, a restaurant that was around since I was a kid in every single town, and boom, like COVID hit and they were gone.
Yeah.
Next week, gone. They were just like, that's it. That's a nail in the coffin. No even way to get out of it.
I had somebody in, and I won't mention names, but they were in a big city, but they were all route. And he called me. I have not talked to him since, so I'm pretty sure they're not in business anymore or whatnot. But you could tell it in his voice, the crackle, and he had lost, I want to say it was, I can't remember the number now, maybe 63 or 73% of all of his businesses, all of his jobs that he did, not just canceled or postponed. 73 or 63% of his companies that he did work for went out of business. Like they don't exist anymore. So now how do you go and drop that? And now that's on a whole other side. This is what in a big city that was very COVID scared and everything else. But it's like, we watch that because we don't want to be the guy. Nobody wants to be the one with the pants down, right? Like nobody wants to be like, what happened? And then all of a sudden it's 2008 again, where, and I went through 2008. Like I remember in like, it was, I want to say the span of maybe a month, I lost like $1,000 worth of route stuff. And to me at that time, when I was like still new, I'm like, I don't like $1,000 is my bills, it was just, it was absurd, So, but then at that point, it's like, I should have seen it coming, but I was just so new and everything was real progressive. And I just felt like, man, I'm killing it. And then all of a sudden it was like, I got caught with that. So now maybe, am I looking through it through, rose colored glasses? I don't know.
Do you think that like what we're seeing now, not to put you on like but do you think by what we're seeing now that we're preparing for no one? I'm not that good with seeing the trends of this stuff. I'm not, up to 2008, I was still in college in 2008 when that recession happened. That was actually the summer that I started doing residential window cleaning. And I was using my own truck for the company I worked for, and the guy didn't want to pay me for gas. And I remember paying like $4 a gallon for gas. And I was like, college man, like, I don't know what's going on. Like, why won't my boss give me any money? I don't get this. I think I was paid $8 an hour at the time, So, but Jay says he thinks we're in a recession now.
I don't know.
Beginning part.
I feel,
don't think we are yet.
I feel that things are really, so politics. I'm not even gonna say politics aside. You guys are grown adults that can hear somebody talk about politics, but the economy, the way that the economy is right now compared to it was just a couple of years ago, is just in the crapper. Like it's headed towards a dumpster fire that is in a bog of eternal stink. Like it is going that way because we just keep crapping on ourselves, basically.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like that's going to be a forever thing. So I feel like it's so aggressive in the like loss and the just like destroying the world right now. I don't think that it's going to be a recession. I think that it's just really, really opposite to be opposite kind of thing.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I think too, it's a place of like Damien saying, like in our area, I don't think he doesn't think we'll really be affected. I could agree with them too. Like in my area, I'm not too worried about it. It's just an area that has good wealth. Like if worse comes to worse, sure, I'd probably lose half, but then I'd still be okay. And I prepare for things like that. And I think that's another good point is like, what do you do to prepare for these type of things? As always, kind of, keeping your savings up. And everybody, I've seen people talk about how, saving up and having money for the winter and stuff like that, which is, important, but, preparing for a year-long or 2-year-long crapshoot.
Yeah. I would like to know one question, because we talked about politics. And again, I think everybody in this group, this is a great group, by the way. I think that they're not like some of these other ones that'll flip off the handle, but is there anybody that currently likes Biden? Don't compare him to anybody else, but just does anybody like the president right now? Because I think from like a business standpoint, we see things way differently. Like as all this stuff comes in, I mean, look at like tomatoes have gone up like 60%. Like, cheese has gone up. Like bacon has doubled in price. Like weird things where it's like, if you own a restaurant, you can't help but notice that stuff, because you can't all of a sudden be like, oh, it's $32 for a plate of mozzarella sticks, So like in business, no matter what kind of business, restaurant business, service business, anything else, it's like we see things differently, We're not just the consumers sitting out there because it affects us more.
Yeah, no, I couldn't I do not like Biden. I could not.
I'm not. I mean,
so many. I mean, but I'd always have to say, like, I'm not huge on politics.
No.
I'm not. But to me, to see how many people are doing good in small business when Trump was in office, and that was a huge thing. I mean, huge. And to see it so taper off so fast is just crazy to me. It's crazy.
Think about the growth in health. You remember like what happened? What happened was all these companies that were just like in flux with just like, oh my gosh, like, I mean, what we saw on our side, like, could you imagine have had 8 years of that kind of, I mean, he fought it the whole way. I'm looking not into politics, but that whole thing, you know, it's like, we will eventually be that way. It's like this anti kind of thing that we're in right now. It was like instantly, let's change everything that the last guy did. And I think that's where this is like the pendulum swing. So the next thing that comes in, I think is going to just level things back out. So I think it went really aggressively in a positive way. And now it's going real aggressively in a negative, and it's going to eventually kind of land centered. So I don't think we're in a recession, but Jay could very well be right. I'm just a dummy. So I don't know.
We'll see. Hopefully not. Hopefully it turns, you know, hopefully not. I don't know.
Yeah.
It would kind of stink.
Yeah.
TJ
WC
photos.
Yeah, I was going to read some of the comments. We're picking comments. You guys are awesome by putting this stuff out there. We're trying to catch up with them, but
this podcast made me want to take a bubble bath. That's great.
This is great. This is great.
Relax, kick back. Yep.
Is anybody watching the Avalanche game tonight? I just want to.
Come on, man. Oh man, maybe we got in this soon. It's on.
Oh, yeah, sorry, wrap it up.
Yeah, we gotta wrap it up. Yep, exactly. But that's good though to see. Most people are pretty positive about feeling like, you know, even though it's coming, that they'll just keep on going on, and that's good.
Yeah, you have to like COVID did. We all were forced to, but a lot of people get comfortable, and when you're comfortable in business, that's when you like, hey, you know, I make $5,000 a month, and I spend $4,000 of it on bills. Like, I'm good. If you lose any of that money, now you're so far close to the edge. It's like on the opposite side, it's like, okay, well, now if you could plan for the crap hitting the fan, then the stuff doesn't really, you know, hit as hard.
Exactly.
You see that Austin is trolling you?
Yes. Yes.
I knew as soon as I saw your smirk, I knew that's what you saw.
I'm totally a bandwagon fan though. Like, I don't watch it during the regular season.
Who wants to watch like preseason games and stuff? Who's watching preseason stuff?
We go sometimes to like the smaller division team below them. And it's great hockey. Like live fights all the time.
We go to our like
smaller venue. It's awesome.
$20 to go watch them at the Coliseum. Heck yeah.
Yep. A couple beers, right, Jersey? A couple beers.
Love them. I drink lots of them. Multiple beers. Multiples. Squeegee Life. TJ, by the way, if you guys aren't watching Squeegee Life, it's a great podcast. But he said his back has him almost unable to work. So he's having some back issues. And I don't know if it's a stress thing or if it's a life thing or if it's a injury thing. But TJ, you need to come to the mountains and come hang out by a fire pit and relax for like a 3-day weekend, and your back will feel amazing.
Are you going to take care of his back for him, or what's going on?
I don't know.
Well, you're inviting him. I don't know. I'm asking.
A sale is a sale.
Dang right. I watch Kings hockey. Don't hate. It's all we have here in SoCal. This is true. What else is new? What else is going on in the window cleaning world, peeps?
Man, you know what's pretty interesting is the world of water fed and like just gear. There's like the new Delight pole is out. Like just people, I feel like, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like more people are getting into water fed like than I've seen in a long time. Like people are like finally, you know, I've seen enough stuff. Like, let's just do it. Like, it's not for everybody. I know a lot of you aren't into it. I know, you know, some of you don't use it a lot. That's cool. But I feel like more people are just finally like, I don't know if they just seen so much stuff on it. Like people, our customers post so much awesome stuff on it. Like people buy systems and they post stuff instantly. So people just see the content out there.
Oh yeah. But it's out there a lot more mainstream, I think, than it maybe was. Would you say 10 years ago, how much content was out there about water fed?
Zero.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there also wasn't. I had somebody who just I was talking to earlier today that said they had a system their water fed system was from 2005. And they're like, oh, I'm just wondering if I can get some filters. I said, what's the like name? What is it? I like saw pictures. I'm like, I have no idea what that is. I've never seen that system in all my life. They're like, oh, I got it like a garage sale. I'm like, yeah, I know they're just filters and things, but man, there's been a lot of changes since 2005.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember using the old Tucker poles, like the brass poles and the crank and the key. And I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, how nice it is, like not to have to deal with that, and how many poles I broke doing that too. I would always overextend them to where you just have like the 3 parts that bend.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, oh, and then the whole thing just go boop, like that, and just crank it back, put it back down. Be like, oh, boss didn't see that.
Yeah. Those are the ones you can just pull a hacksaw and fix it. But there's like, why is that middle section of the pole only like 3 feet long?
It's fine.
Keeps breaking.
It's totally good.
Dude, my first like water fed pole, I don't think it was my first, but my first like I thought I was like hot shit. I got this pole and it was, oh man, it was these tabs, like they're like the clamps on it were like these weird flip things. It was the garbageous pole, but it was made of pasta. I'm pretty sure it was, because this was some kind of weird hybrid-y fiberglass mix stuff. And it was like, you could literally put it on the ground, set it up, which you're not supposed to set up on the ground anyway, and then just stand the thing up, and then it would like raise off the ground and then like make it to the window.
Oh, wow.
Like, golly. But I was like, this thing is so great. It's so great.
Dude, I remember I loved, it was like the 25 to 30 foot, like all, what would you call it? Brass or aluminum of what the old Tucker poles were.
Aluminum, yeah.
And man, when I had a second story, I just grabbed, that was like the first thing I grabbed, that nylon brush, and just go to town. I never had any issues with those brushes, those old nylon brushes I used to have with them. It worked great. It was easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's weird though, if you think back to in the brushes, there were no like brush brands. There was just the brush that came on the pole, you know.
Yeah.
If I Can was the big name brush, and it was like, you don't even hear about them anymore.
I think that's one of the biggest thing that's really happened, is that all the accessories have gotten so much better in the past.
Yeah.
What would you say, 5 years? I mean, a lot of accessories have come in the past 5 years, and those accessories kind of make it really work, and make it work for the jobs that a lot of people think that won't work for. Yeah. And that's the big thing. Like that was my thing. I mean, back in I think 2010, 2011, when I first touched a water fed pole, and I did some jobs with it, and I was like, dude, what the heck? Like, what are we doing out here?
Yeah.
Like, what? This doesn't look good. And it was just, we didn't know better. No one knew how to taught us. No one knew how to train us. And then, I mean, the Tucker Boris hair brush to me has been always like the best brush that's come out in like a long time. It's the one thing I'll use. I don't get along with like radius brushes. I don't even get along with the hybrid brush very much. Like it's just all boar hair. That's it.
Yeah.
All the time. Yeah.
You know what's a really good brush that I overlook a lot is it's technically the radius brush by Enlight, or the solar brush, same thing. I know you don't like the radius brush, but for some reason I love the flock on that. Like just doing commercial and stuff, you just float over things. But it's so non-aggressive that if you have any type of like dirty windows, it's just like, it's like just waving to the dirt, you know?
Yeah. Chris, about your silencer, just email one of us and we'll try to help you get it figured out.
Yeah. I would like to know, what can somebody do to make a brush better? Because there's people in here like Mike, who's zero contact scrubber amazingness. But like, what can we do to make brushes better? Because that's the big thing, right? We have the pole. We can get the stiffest pole possible right now. But like, to translate that to a brush, how do you make a brush better? I like the size. I think a 12 is good. I would like to see a like carbon fiber thin block. So it's like super maneuverable, no weight. So it takes a bend off, you know? But then what do you do with bristles? Like there's only so much you can kind of do, you know?
I don't know how much crazier it can really get, to be quite honest.
I don't really, because you can't go harder. You can't go stiffer bristle, because then at height you can't put enough pressure to make the things bend over, because it's not the tips that scrub, you know, it's the sides.
Right.
So it's like, well, we've got boar's hair. Tucker has great boar's hair. They have really good quality boar's hair. You can't make synthetic anywhere near that. So it's like, well, where do we go from here? You know, companies are starting to insert kind of strips and things, and I get that makes some sense, but then the bristles are not useless if you're trying to use a scrubber that, you know, if you got to push hard enough, then it's like, so where does it go? Like, we have a lot of really smart people here. I would love to know.
I think the one thing that would be awesome is to create a brush as aggressive as boar hair that doesn't wear down like boar hair.
Yeah.
Right.
That's one thing.
Sort of bristle that would just be like an all-in-one, very aggressive bristle that doesn't wear out, which I don't think could really be happen with what we do. But something like that. One of my favorite brushes is actually X-Line from the UK.
Yeah,
they make one with a rinse bar in the middle, and that rinse bar in the middle, I love rinse bars. So man, it's like, yeah, it's great. That's my favorite brush. If they made that with like a boar hair, I would buy that all day.
Yeah, I think so. Boar's hair, the way that they wear out too, is that you know why they scrub so well is the fiber, the hair has, if you've ever seen it under a microscope, has layers. And the layers are the texture that actually scrub. That's why boar's hair scrubs so much. But as soon as those really fine layers get worn down, it doesn't scrub anymore. So it's like you have the little like micro fines that are doing the scrubbing, but they're micro fines, so they're not rigid. So they're going to, of course, come apart. So it's like the catch-22. It's like you want it to scrub well, but you don't want it to wear out. You can't really. Exactly. It's tough. It's tough. But that's where the innovation is going to come, I think, is brushes.
So Kiona's, I'm going to pronounce it wrong. Kiona's dad, rinse bars make no sense to me. No matter how high you go with the brush, water is shooting above. Shouldn't it be on the bottom of the brush? So I love rinse bars. I love it on residential. I'm not as big of a fan of it on commercial because I like to direct my flow a little more. But gosh, I would say on the bottom, though, I'd feel like you would break it easier than you would have on the top. I think that's the one thing.
Rinse bars are to rinse. So that's why it's on the top, is because even when the bristles are on there, it's always rinsing down. So when you pull it off, the water is always the last thing touching the glass. So concept-wise, it's there. But placement, I think, could be improved. I like that in between. That kind of thing is good. You couldn't rinse with the brush on the glass, though, which takes away one of the big benefits to kind of a rinse bar. But I've also seen the top-bottom rinse bar. I know people like that, but that just seems like a waste of water. I don't get that.
And then it's to operate a top and a bottom rinse bar would be quite a lot of water flow. I mean, a DI system would do it well, but if you're doing RO, you need a high flow or extra pump really to like make that, worthwhile.
Yeah. I understand the idea of it, but like a pressure washer, you go with a 4-gallon a minute or a 12-gallon a minute, you're not cleaning the glass or rinsing 3 times as fast because there's only so fast you can walk. So now you're wasting water. So it's the same thing with all of these rinse bars. It's like, you put too many on there, maybe you're going to have too much water flow and it kills your PSI. Like, sure, there's a HydroCart 2X that can do 4 freaking gallons a minute with the electric pump. Do it all day long. But if you're running just a standard system, you might have some issues.
Yeah, exactly. It always makes funny to me when people want to run the rinse bar and pencil jets. I'm like, you just don't need it. Like, it's just choose one or the other, make it simple. Sometimes people want to like overdo water fed, add soap to the glass, do these things. It's cool, whatever you want to do.
They want to make it their own.
Like sometimes, you want to make it your own and make a process out of it. But like, if you treat it what it is, it just freaking works. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get that so much though, where people want to like make configurations and buy all these extra jets and they want to put all these things in. It's like, well, you're going to drop your PSI for flow. And if you're going to do that, just go with a rinse bar, go with fans where the water touches every, a fan spreads it out where it touches all the glass. You literally need nothing else because it touches every spot that you possibly could touch with anything else you add to it. So,
yeah. And that's the one thing. What?
I was going to say, why aren't fan jets more popular? I always thought that. Like, why is that not the common?
Well, because I feel like when fan jets go through the brush, they're still going to hit bristles. Like, say if you have boar hair, I always get spots. I'll get spots quite a bit more with fan jets than like anything else. Really? And I think part of it is that sometimes when you look at like mow flows when they're going over, as you're like cleaning the window, you just see all this water, like just mist, like in the air. And like, I don't know, like maybe that's all clean, but every single time I've done them, except for commercial jobs where, it's not like it's already pretty clean. But yeah, I just never been like a huge fan of them.
All right, folks, that's it for us tonight. Yeah. If you haven't yet, thumbs up the video. Everybody thumbs up the video, because if we can get to 200, we can give away a dang poll.
Yeah. If we ever get there before the convention, dang it. Jersey, how's your weight loss going?
I don't even want to tell you. It's going that good.
I almost think tomorrow. Oh man, you start.
No, are you doing good in this contest?
Dude, I've been I've been hitting the Stairmaster like crazy. I haven't drank a Monster since our last one, before our last broadcast. 3 days before that was my last Monster that I drank. I traded out the Monster for pre-workout and coffee. So I was like, all right, I'm going to take out one. I'm going to take out Monster because I like doing the pre-workout. I have this great pre-workout and I like my morning coffee. And if I have that, I'm perfectly good.
Have you weighed yourself?
I haven't. I'm waiting on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We should be doing that regular because I think that would be good weekly motivation to like. But then it would also be sad. Like my birthday was like a couple days ago, so I have not eaten great for a couple days. Like
see, yep. Johnny Ringo, why take out Monster? I took out Monster because with everything else that I had that had caffeine, I was getting heart palpitations. That's exactly why I did it, and I started getting a little bit scared.
I was dying. The doctor said, "Don't do that, or you will all the way die."
Exactly. Name brand. I drank C4 on a job site one time, almost puked. You know what I used to do actually? In some of the summers, I would bring pre-workout if the day went too long, and it was like 3:30 at another house. I was like, I don't have any energy, and I just eat the scoop. And all of a sudden, like 30 minutes later, I was just like around the house.
You know, that's like cocaine, right? Like you're just, like, I don't know.
But it wasn't.
Well, right. It tasted like sour apple. It couldn't have been.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you know, when it gets to be about 3 o'clock and I'm like, I could use a bump of Coke. And then I just, and then all of a sudden I can clean really good. But I got rid of Monsters, so.
But I tell you what, man, those heart palpitations are scary because all of a sudden you sit there and it just stops you in your tracks. Dude, and
I get like I guess it's anxiety, but it's not like TV anxiety, but like it only really happens in the winter. But by the time I go to bed, like as I'm like going to bed, my heart just starts like chugging, and I'm laying in bed like, and that's like I get like every single night for like 2 months. I'll have that. I've like
the breathing stuff,
huh?
That's just in the winter.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's weird. That's like time to go to the doctor.
Time to go to because then if they tell you something, then I know it's better not to know.
This is very true.
I just want to wake up in the morning and be like, that's not right.
Why did I just cough and there's blood all over me? My God.
What is going on here? What is this side of my face not working?
Oh man, Johnny Ringo said, I love this name, Johnny. Johnny Ringo. Jersey, I think that's a blood oxygen thing.
The heart thing?
Yep.
Could be.
Oh, no. Mike said those pains are probably from the COVID shot.
Could be.
Let's see what else this could be, too.
Could be. I would like you to know whatever issues I have, please tell me in the comments. Yeah. Victor just said I'm too old for caffeine. I found out that if I have like caffeine after noon now, like an old lady, I'll be like, it'll be like 11:30, and I'll be like, I should go to bed, but I'm sweaty and can't. Like,
yep. Every morning for me, it's about 3 cups of coffee before I'm good to go. It's pretty sad.
I need it in the morning.
But that's like for a decade of like what it's like I have to do it. I have to have my creamer. My coffee looks like milk.
You're that guy, yeah.
I'll admit it. I don't care.
Did you ever see that one coffee where it was like coffee snobs, and the lady walks over and she's like, "Oh, is this that new Egyptian roast?" And she like goes, and then she takes the creamer and she just goes, blah, 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 blah. That's so good.
I tell you, the worst coffee I've ever had, as far as way too much energy. It had a skull on it, so yes. I mean, it's that should scare you. Yeah, but it was Death Wish.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you had that? You have that now. That's what you have at your office.
I have it now, but I have not drank any of it.
Be careful. My gosh, the first day I drank that, I was sitting on chat sweating my butt off. Like, just kind of like, I really hope this calms down soon.
Why are all Steve-O's chat have like dashes and lines in there? Like he's just smashing keys. He'll get the message. Just got to do a bump of pre-workout.
Yep, just like Kramer from Seinfeld. Too many cafe lattes. Oh, man. Yeah. Well, I know it's a little bit early, but I am going to end it early because I really want to watch this game. And Squeegee Puller wants to watch it. Damien wants to watch it. All these other people on it from Colorado, they want to watch it. So we'll end a little bit early, but we'll go a little longer next time. We'll make it up to you guys. So if just shutting this down, if you guys get to 200, come on, at least get to 300 in between all of them. We got to give them something, Jersey. We got to
do something.
We got to do something here. So
give it the thumbs up if you think SteveO's going to lose at this weight challenge. Give the thumbs up. I'm helping.
That's messed up. So how are they going to know who wins?
Well, because you're going to be crying, like when you're like the end.
We're gonna
when you're doing this for $2,000
convention, and you're gonna walk in like a skeleton. Like, I wanted to win. I wanted it.
I spent $4,800 on Metamucil, but I did it. You're
gonna be doing Milk of Amnesia every night. Do something weird.
Look at all the thumbs up, right? I mean, these are people who are still thumbsing up the videos, but they're putting thumbs in the thing just to tell us that they know you're going to lose the weigh off challenge.
This is ridiculous. No, Johnny Ringo, thumbs up the video, not in the comments. They
said, just so you know, your monster is not doing it.
It's going to do it. You guys are going to be like, oh my gosh. Right. Yeah, let's just hope. Hey, Joshua, the window cleaner, are you coming to the huge convention? Well, comment on the video if you are. That'd be great to know.
There's gonna be a bunch of people. I'm kind of excited for that, by the way.
Oh, see, Joshua's supporting me. He says I got this. So, all right, guys. Have a great couple weeks. Have a great start of summer. If there are any topics that you ever really want us to talk about, please feel free to shoot us any messages through any of the social media you guys talk to us through, and we'd be happy to talk about it on here. And also, some of you guys did it. If you want a SteveO sticker, email me at SteveO. People always miss the O. SteveO@windowcleanresource.com. And I have a list I'm making. I finally got the stickers in. Nothing crazy, but just something cool. So send me an email there. And Josh, what do you have to lead us out?
Go ahead and follow my TikTok, because now I'm over 1,000 and you guys hate on TikTok. I'm trying to do something on TikTok. So find me. It's Jersey_WCR_Nation, the longest name ever.
They are really good TikToks. They are really
American.
Good.
I try.
They are. They're very creative.
It's only stuff that like other window cleaners would find funny, and my wife is just like,
that's why it's great though.
Yeah, I know.
It is. I think it's great.
Cool.
All right, y'all. Peace.